Hey guys, today I have a direct drive Whirlpool washer. It's the Roper brand name, but built by Whirlpool there, you can see. We've got the water level set to super, temperature, warm, cold, so it's actuating both the hot and cold water valve. We're just doing a normal on the regular cycle, so it won't take too long to agitate, but you can hear it agitating. It's got the two-part agitator, which spins freely clockwise and not back counterclockwise, how you know it's working correctly. Nice heavy load of towels in there. And I'm going to show you that obviously it's agitating correctly, fills all the way up with water, that it drains the water out and has a nice, fast, smooth final spin cycle. We'll also talk about what you need to get it hooked up correctly. A couple things you want to watch out for when hooking it up. And then once it's all done, I'm going to move the clothes over to the dryer and show you that the dryer's working perfectly. Now for the hookup of your washer, might consider a set of steel braided hoses like this pack here. I've got a link to both of these in the description. If you have trouble finding it, you can just click that. Also supports the channel, so we really appreciate that. But you can see here you've got blue for cold water, red, so it's easy to keep them apart. Now the steel braided is important because the cheap rubber ones have a tendency to swell and burst, and you definitely don't want that happening, especially if you're not home. And then a surge protector, there's many different styles, and I got a couple linked in the description. I kind of like this one because I'm always plugging other things in, but you can also get dedicated ones. You just want to make sure that it's 900 joules or higher, and that's going to protect your washing machine and the electronics on it. This one also has I believe that's a 4-foot cable on it too. So something like that to protect the electronics on it, super important. And this pretty much covers the washer. Okay, now it's draining that water out nice and fast. You hear that drain running there. Once it's done draining the water out, it'll spin to extract the used up water as we move into the rinse cycle. It's going to fill all the way back up with fresh water, agitate for a bit, and then we'll be on to the final spin there. All right, final spin cycle. It's getting up to speed. Now if we lift the lid up, it's going to kick in the safety switch and shut it down, but you will be able to see that it's spinning nice and fast in there. And as you can see from the outside, nice smooth operation. Sounds great, nice and quiet. Okay, we'll go ahead and open it up. Puts the brakes on, shuts the power off, and now we'll let it finish up. That's gonna do it for the washer. We'll move over to the dryer next. All right, now when talking about hooking up the dryer, a couple of things you're gonna need. You're gonna need to find out what type of power cord you're gonna need. These are all considered accessories, and they do not come with a new dryer or a used dryer typically. This is a 3-prong power cord. It's like that there, has 3 hookups for the back, and it's 30 amp. You wanna make sure you don't get a 50 amp that has a straight one here. That's for a stove. You want to make sure you get the right one for a dryer. And I've got these linked in the listing description also for you there. Now this is a 4-prong, so it looks a little different, but it still has the L there versus a straight one, because they also sell this in a 50 amp for a stove. Very similar, so you want to make sure you get the right one for a dryer. You can take a picture of your plug in your laundry room and match it up, make sure you get the right one. This goes on the back of the dryer, and then it extends out to wherever your wall hookup is. Super important to make sure you get one. It's easy to use. A lot of them have a flathead screwdriver on it to tighten it down. I like these wings here. You could just do it by hand. It's so much easier because every 3 or 4 months you're going to want to take this off and clean it out, so this makes it a lot easier to do. And then lastly, I always recommend a good dryer sheet, and I do not do fabric softener in any of the washers that I use or the one at home. Fabric softener is like putting glue in your machine. Eventually it gums everything up. Use 2 or 3 of these and you get the same softness effect on your clothes, but it doesn't mess anything up. So that's kind of the essentials there for your dryer. All right, so the washer, clean, cleared out. Close that up, come over here. Now I've got this set on time dry, 60 minutes, so it's gonna go for 1 hour. And you've got tons of different options. You can pause and kind of read through all those if you want. But essentially, I typically use time dry or just go heavy duty or even normal. These are the sensors that will determine how wet the clothes are still, and those are fine. I'm just kind of old fashioned. I go time dry and just kind of kick everything up high, but you can do your delicates. This also has a hose on the back, so if you put a splitter on your washer, a cold hose splitter, meaning that another hose comes off or has the ability to hook up. You can hook up the hose from this to that, and then this can draw cold water from your cold water, go into the washer, and you get these steam functions. Now, you don't have to use that. I've had points in times where I didn't even hook it up before, and that's fine. You don't have to hook it up at all. But if you do want to, then you can take a whole basket of wrinkly clothes, throw them in, put the steam and wrinkle away on, and then they'll come out without the wrinkles after a refresh. And I believe these are like 20 or 30 minutes. Otherwise, we just set it and kind of forget it. And you've got all these different options here. But I'm going to show you that it is in fact heating like it's supposed to. You can hear it tumbling around. Now you'll have the vent hose on the back, which will make it much quieter. You can see everything tumbling there. Open this up. The heating element's kind of right in there. So you can see plenty of heat coming out of that little grate right there. Mixes with the clothes, gets them dry. That's where the steam would shoot out right there if you did have it hooked up. And then that air exits right here where your lint trap is, and then goes down and out the back of your dryer where you would have the vent hose hooked up. You want to make sure that it gets clean and clear before each and every load, so you got a nice, good airflow there. That's how your clothes get dry. It's also super important that when you hook the vent hose up to the back, you make sure that vent hose and the whole system ventilation in the house is clean and clear. Otherwise, if it's clogged, so say your old dryer just stopped heating one day, you want to check that, because you can trip the safety sensor and then your dryer won't work anymore. Everything will run, but it won't heat. There's safety sensors in here that will tell if it's got a backup, because what happens is if the air can't escape, the heat backs up and it overheats. And those safety sensors keep things from getting so hot that they catch on fire, okay? So super important. Check your vents, check your airflow, make sure on the outside of your house everything's blowing nice and fast and you got a good airflow. That way your clothes will also then get dry in the amount of time that they're supposed to get dry in, and they won't take 2 or 3 loads to get dry. That's another tell you can use. So anyway, that's these. They're good to go. They don't look too bad sitting side by side there. And we'll go ahead and get them listed up for sale. If you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out. Appreciate you taking time to watch my video. Thanks, you guys. Have a great day.